something new right here for you.
Alright. HVT officer here. I wanted to do a video on how to build a route in survival. And in order to do that, I actually had to level this guy up. I was only level 26 or something, and I was all from survival. My gear, I actually had this G36 I was rocking. It was I had this one. I don't know which one of these armors I was wearing, vests or whatever. But I ended up running 3 missions to get to level 30. Haven't even done Bliss at General Assembly. But I'm level 30, and because of the loot that I already had from... I had obviously done the shields for both survival and for having reached the base of operations. So between those shields and some of the loot I already had, and of course all the massive amounts of Phoenix credits I would have had from all the survival caches I've opened and sold on this low-level characters, I had plenty of loot. This account doesn't have a whole lot. I can show you. I don't have a ton in my... These are gear scores, low gear score stuff. I don't even know where I got those. Probably from survival caches. It does. Even when you're low level, it has a chance at dropping a exotic item, but it does not drop gear score items when you're low level. So these ones were purchased recently. After I turned level 30, I purchased these so that I could have something to work with. And these would have been from those shield rewards. Anyway, I don't have any. It's not great, but I put together a fledgling build. This is a 4-piece striker, a couple of classified pieces there. I had 2 pieces of sentry, so I threw those on. One of them was classified. And I bought a lightweight M4 for sale right now, which is awesome. It's actually got decent talents, prepared and unforgiving. So this is that's actually really good. Unforgiving is hard to unlock if you have without too much stamina. And so this is actually pretty solid. And I went ahead and bought some mods, but I didn't bother with any mods on my gear. So this is just a generic starter build. This is more than enough to survive out in the open world, especially when I changed the gear to the world tier down to tier 1. So now I should be a god. Now the problem is I don't have any fast travel points unlocked. That is actually going to be an issue right about now. But I can, what can I do? I can go down to Camp Hudson and pretend that I spawned in one of these lower locations. So this is actually how you should build your survival runs. You should go out into your main world, drop to world tier 1. Verify that I did that. Yeah. So I'm in world tier 1. Let's get out of here. On world tier 1, nothing should be able to kill me, right? I should be a fucking god out here in my world tier 5 gear.
Warning.
So just get out.
The safe area.
See, I don't even have gear mods on my skills. I haven't actually, on this character, I haven't actually even equipped a second weapon. So I only have the 1. It's kind of fun to blaze through missions when you're... Yeah, it's weird. Okay, so here we are. Where's the spawn hideout? Well, you can pull up the map. I don't have the ability to do that while I'm playing for sure. On the same screen. I may be able to add that as an overlay if at some point when I move this over to YouTube. I'm still experimenting with all that shit. I'm totally new at this. I'm not one of those people that does this all the time. But I can tell you right now, first of all, right here is the art museum. In survival, this door right here goes into the art museum. I don't know the other doors for the art museum, but this is definitely one of them. So let's just pretend that we spawned here. If we had spawned here in survival, where do you go? So you come out, and the first place you would want to go, nice civilian, is into this garage, which has three toolboxes and a gear piece. It's also warm. Now I know what's in here, and you won't, but look, there are actual tools in here, and that's usually an indicator of approximately what's going to be there in survival. In fact, that toolbox is exactly right there in survival. So there is also a bomb. I think it's right there. I believe it faces this direction. So okay, there's so that's a good starting spot. Where is another their hideout? Suppose I should probably unlock fast travel locations in this character, so I'll probably end up doing that, but I don't want to go to the construction site. That one's a little too straightforward, but I might. I'll just keep, since I'm down here, I'll go down to this one. So there is one. So that building is a spawn hideout, and then you can also spawn, I think, in here. I don't know if it looks quite like this. So whenever I spawn in this particular one over here, it's one of these areas right here. Whenever I spawn in this one, I get a little bit confused, and I have to just work my way east until I can start seeing things that I recognize. But also, let's do this one. So this spawn hideout, if you were to spawn back there, so this is a far southwest spawn. This is a spawn hideout. If you were to drink some water, walk around, or you find a box of tools in the back of this truck in survival.
Supply drop that was sent out yesterday, and it's gone missing.
And these stupid things.
Those sick people could use that. Can you be a deer and look for it?
And then as you come out, there's stuff here. So where do you go from here is the question, right? Well, let's find out. Let's just walk around and look. You can go up onto the rail here. What's on the rail? Well, honestly, there's not a whole lot up here. There's a backpack somewhere up here. I think it's like right here or there. And it's cold, but every so often, it's actually very frequently, there is fire barrels. There are fire barrels up here, and most of them are ever burning, so you don't even have to light them. So here we're to test World Tier 1, right? These guys shouldn't be able to do shit to me. Yeah, see, they can barely touch me. So we're gonna run off a little bit, but we're gonna look around. So look, oh hey, there's this thing I can climb here. What is this? There's nothing here. Let's go up. There's nothing here either. Well, I can tell you right now, there's a med kit there. There's a gear piece there. There's a weapon there. There's weapon parts there. There's a cooler right there. That's all up here. And this actually fucking works in survival. You can stand under it and you keep nice and warm. There's also a burning barrel right down there that you can stand next to. And it's also got a toolbox next to it. And there's also a box of tools right here. So there's 2 boxes of tools down here. So this is a great place to stop, get warm, get a weapon, get a med kit, get a gear piece. Now, these are shit items that are going to be blue and maybe, green and maybe blue, really. But this is a first stop, right? This isn't, we're not super concerned about the quality of it. As you run along here, you'd be freezing in survival. There's no enemies up here, though. So in survival, so there's barrels, however, so you can keep nice and warm if you stop at the barrels every so often. In fact, in survival, in survival, there's a barrel right here. There's also fabric right there instead of this garbage. And now you had a choice. You can get back downstairs and keep going. The crash site, incidentally, is down these stairs. and across the street, right there by that bus, right over there. That's the crash site. You can actually, you could go down there. Now, if you get up to here, there are 2 enemies that wander up and down these stairs. So I always take those stairs back there if I'm going to go to the crash site rather than these ones for a couple of reasons. But look, there's a building over here with stairs around it. Now, I don't even know how to get up there. I never do this one in survival. It's I don't know if it's completely accessible. The blue tarps usually indicate this climbable things. I know that there's I think it's a gear piece at the top of the fire escape on the backs, on one of the, I think it's the backside. So let's go down there and take a look. I'll tell you also right now that if you continue that way on the rail up here, there's I call it the rail because I live in Seattle and we have our monorail. But whatever this is called, this overpass walkway thing. Up there, there's a couple of purple cleaner Lancelots. Not a big deal. You can take those out with a pistol, easy. Just back away slowly. Don't freak out. Just back away slowly and shoot them in the head. Okay, so in survival, this is open, broken open, kinda, and so there's the weapon here, the gear piece here, another gear piece is in the ground there, a cooler there, meds there, and a grenade there. There's a burning fire barrel right here with fabric next to it, and there's 2 guys that patrol it. If you sit here by the fire barrel, they'll wander off, and you can just go get the stuff, or you can shoot them. If there's other players, you're gonna probably have to shoot them quickly. There's a spawn hideout. Not used to seeing this in the daylight. My daughter came in here watching me play the other day and was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I was like, "Well, just trying some things." So the spawn hideout is right there, this building here at the bottom of it. It's a spawn hideout. And this construction lot has a box of tools right there by the door. Box of tools over there. Inside the back of that truck there is a backpack. Up top here is some electronics. There's also tools around the back side of the hideout. Now, I don't expect a person to memorize all of this, but there's a map that you can download that, or not download, it's a website. It's just an interactive map that you can load up. And if you have a laptop or tablet, even your phone, it kind of sucks to use on your phone. But if you pull up this interactive division map and set it to survival locations, it'll tell you where all the stuff is, including the hideouts. So just go to that, go to the hideout, or go to one of the hideouts that's indicated as a spawn hideout. I think it does that. And then you can actually walk this route and pay attention on the map there and just look for concentrations of loot. You could use crash sites. I recommend that most players who are new to survival don't go to crash sites, because it's the crash site's just a thing that's on everybody's map, and things that are on everybody's map are places that, because of that, everybody goes. All right, so it is up on the top of that fire escape. That's where the gear piece is. This is just how you get to it. So again, I never go to the I never go to this one. I think there's another gear piece on the ground in there, but you have to go all the way through the, and it's got a one-way out, kind of a jump down.
Patrol, this is dispatch. I got a
So,
arms deal happening at a parking lot under the High Line near Dyer.
that area, by the way, it's just kind of what they did, basically. Everything that does something in the main game, they made it kind of do something in survival. So if in the main game it was an encounter or a side mission, it's probably a small loot cave. If it was a hideout, or excuse me, a safe room, in the main game there's safe rooms, it probably has gear, weapon boxes, things like that. Alright, so we're going to go kind of back. We're just zipping around here. So if we had taken the crash site there, whether we spawned there or at the art museum, whether we'd gone on the rail or not, we'd probably end up somewhere in this neighborhood at some point. Because remember, we're going to be trying to get from wherever we spawned, in this case we're pretending a southwest spawn, to the dark zone. That means we're heading generally east and at least a little bit north. The first entrance to the DZ is right here. So,
Boss, we confirm phase 1.
where should you go from here? Well, right about here is a great place. So, the crash site there. This looks different. It's easier to get through this in survival. So they made a lot of subtle changes, and it's not clear why. But I always like to, I mean, when I'm on one of these spawns, I come to this spot. There's some weapon parts here. There's 2 weapon parts bags. And just like in the main game here, you'll see in survival, you can open this door. You go upstairs. Whoa, it's nice and dark. Each one of these apartments has a bunch of shit in it. You can open the wardrobe there and get clothes. There's fabric there on this floor, and then it's up there on this top floor. There's electronics there. There's backpacks and grenades and shit in here, stuff like that. There's a backpack right there instead of that suitcase. Top upper floor, you have to open this door, but look, we can open it here, and it doesn't even require a lock. That's kind of cool. So you open it, and right here in survival is the gear piece, and that could, well, there's a gear piece here. It's right there in survival, and it's potentially purple, and that's exactly what we want. I've very often gotten my first purple piece out of there, and it's typically a holster. So let's see, go ahead and open this. This is something you can open in survival as well. And so I will often come up to the top here. This is a little bit out of the way. I have some friends who refuse to use stairs and ladders. Anything that slows you down by going up and turning around corners and stuff, they won't do. And that's fine. Those guys are more into speed for speed's sake. I'm more into efficiency, which takes speed into consideration, but also takes into consideration loot density, concentrations of loot. Alright, so I open both of these doors, and that's north. Remember, in survival you have to pull up, you have to hit X or Y, well, on the Xbox to switch weapons, or reload to pull up your compass and sort of minimap. It's really, in survival, it's just a compass. There's no minimap. And there's a fire trap right there is what you would find in survival. You can come straight down this alley rather than through the doors. Save some time if you don't care about the clothing. You want to be, if you're more interested in the speed. I have several friends that do that. They probably come from the crash site there and straight up through here. I don't actually know. I don't know what's up there. I've never bothered, but they're probably tools. I know I have one friend who likes to go upstairs of this building, so we just came out of this apartment building here. Tools there. Tools in the back of that truck. I usually leave those. In survival, you can open this door as well. And inside of this diner, you have a toolbox there. That soda machine, actually, you can pull a soda out of it in survival, or water, whichever randomly gives you. There's another box of tools here. And so this diner has a trap there. There's a Grenadier rider and a Barry Bonds rider that live in here, and they'll spot you at some point. Sometimes the Barry Bonds is actually standing right in here, waiting for you to come out. Right here. You can open the storeroom here, and in the storeroom you'll find a gear piece, again, potentially purple, and a cooler. And so I'll usually dip in here, and then if the Barry Bonds is chasing me, I'll just wait for him and kill him in here, and then come out and dispatch the Grenadier. You gotta be a little bit careful. There is a gold heavy that lives down that way. We'll worry about him momentarily. There's a hideout up here on the right, and it's blue hideout. So if you wanted to craft your blue items, including a support station, Omega suppressor, obviously your filters and turret, you can do that up there. This area has weapon parts, weapon, med kit, meds, and in the back of this truck, gear. You can continue that way towards Madison Square Garden and the base of operations, which is here. People like to say you should go around the base of operations, sort of. You should go to the places that have the loot, which is here on this southwest corner, and immediately opposite on the northern side, which is where we'll go next. There's also a gear piece right in here. Right there in survival, there's a gear piece. And again, I'm not really pointing out things unless they're potentially purple, for the most part. And so that's not that's definitely the case. Now, if you could go, if you want, you can go through here. Go back into that alley. I think you can get in that. I don't remember how to get in here. I never do this. This is a thing that my friends do. I know that there's enemies up here in survival. There's a med kit up here. I don't know if there's clothing. I really don't know what all's up here. I know that there's electronics in the server room here. Let's see. This, I think there's a med kit right there in survival. So, and this is out on the scaffolding. Okay, so this is how they get in and out of there. And I don't know, there may be things up there. I really don't know. So I know a lot of things about survival. I like to tell people I know all the things. It's not really true. I know enough of the things. And probably more than enough of the things. So whether or not you wanted to use that diner, that's just another spot, and it's warm. And the enemies in there are just red bars that you can easily take down with just a pistol. Now this road here, this is where that heavy with the flashlight, with the heavy machine gunner, he patrols here. He lives up and down this road, and he patrols further east to almost the diner. So if you're fighting those guys, he absolutely can get aggroed in there. That truck here, you can climb down from the rail there, and that's where the two purple Lancelots live, and they can chase you down here. They absolutely can jump down there. I've seen them fight the heavy before. This car's on fire in survival, and so you can warm up on it. I usually do. And while I assess the location of the heavy, and I'm very rarely do I feel like I'm geared up enough to fight the heavy by the time I get here in survival, and that's just because of how quickly I get here. I have to be pretty lucky. Now this construction site, scaffolding, this is a loot cave, so there's fabric and a backpack here. Now this is, I'm showing you the way that I do it. I come down there, I don't use a ladder, I just hop down. I grab those two items, and then up here, there's another box of tools. Another box of tools. Another box of tools. There's that guy shooting at down there. Then I don't remember exactly what, I think it's gear piece, fabric, weapon. I think that's it. Or not fabric, not fabric, medkit. So two gear pieces, medkit, and a weapon right here. Electronics, where this gear piece is, actually where the light is. Hop down. There's nothing to fight here. You just get to have all this stuff. There's tools right there. There's a fire barrel that you have to light right here. And there's a backpack there. You have to, that's all free. If you're freezing, you light up the barrel. There's a medkit there. Tools or fabric, I can't remember. I think it's fabric there, and then tools, and then fabric. And then you can get right back out. When people say to go near the base of operations, these are the two places they really mean. There's a supermarket up there has some stuff too, of
Dispatch to
course.
Patrol, one of our
So we'll
scouts
go there.
located a stronghold at the storage yard
Um,
on West 33rd. They need backup.
This stronghold
Why don't you go check it out?
is a place that I go quite a bit in survival. Because right up there is a gear piece, and right here are tools. And this barrel, there's a barrel right here that's an ever-burning barrel, so you don't even have to do anything. You can just grab the gear piece, potentially purple. So I guess if this is, we're still, I guess, technically next to the base of operations. So on the north side here we had, so on the south side we had one weapon, one gear piece, two gear pieces, excuse me, directly along the southern side. On the north side here we have two gear pieces, a weapon, and a third gear piece over there. And then again a bunch of useful crafting materials. Okay, interesting. Oh, there it is. Already passed it. So inside this back of this truck, there's this Hammett. There is a weapon, and there's I don't. These Humvees aren't quite like this in survival. There's a weapon parts right there, and I don't think that this feels different, but it could just because it's daylight. Here's a supermarket across from the Sierra Aid. Sierra Aid has meds and a med kit. There's a gear piece right here. In fact, when you hop down to get it, this particular little spot right here is actually a lot warmer than the rest of the area. I don't know why. Maybe they just have some secret heat exhaust. I have no idea. But it's a little warmer, and you can usually sit here and just warm up if you've gotten any luck with clothing at all prior to getting here. The supermarket itself is obviously nice and warm. It's guarded by two red bars, a Grenadier, and a Barry Bonds. It's also full not of fabric, but of coolers. There's like 6 coolers in here. There's also a purple heavy, light LMG heavy guy. I think he's a rioter who patrols just out here and around the back side of the building. He's very easy to kill. Especially when you learn how to target his weak point. The problem is you can also aggro. There is a bunch of Rikers that patrol the front of the base of operations, including a heavy gold Riker, and you don't want to deal with him. So if you see the flashlight, bounce. If you don't, go ahead and take out the purple.
Not quite done here.
In this little parking area, there's a gear piece there. There's also a cooler and a bag of meds. In this area, so it's kind of warm. It's not super warm, but it's kind of warm in here, so it's a little bit warmer than outside under here itself. But right in the middle here, there's a ever-burning barrel right here. There is a bomb on that, a flame bomb, and there's two cleaners that live in here. They're either red or purple, but they're just regular cleaners, infantry, and those are easy to take out, even with a pistol if you hit their tanks. And there's a gear piece right there. Sometimes 2 red bar Riker Grenadiers will come see what's going on. Now, you could go down that road there, off to the east, or this road up here off to the east. I have friends that do either one. I usually take the northern road, because I kind of like to stop and fight. Many of my friends, there's at least one of my friends likes to skip fights whenever possible. And this is a pretty big one. There's like 5 Riker infantry that live in this area. Infantry, these are the guys that kind of look like, what's his name? Bane from Batman. He talks like this. Whatever. That guy. There's tools here. There's a fire barrel. Shit. I think it's back there. Actually, it's right there, I think. I don't really use the fire barrel. I kill those guys. There's also a trio of rioters that live just outside of... This is the electronics store we're next to. We will go in, but we're going to start by going in the alley and then behind it. Just keep holding on. Or holding on, yeah. It says that... Here's what's funny. There's some of these signs or graffiti say different things in survival than they do in the main game. So this little alley here, this area right here has 2 backpacks, 2 gear pieces, and a med kit. It's awesome. It's a great place to come loot up. Sometimes there's an enemy out here. Usually there's 2 Rikers. There's sometimes one standing outside, but there are 2 always, and the other one is inside, or both of them are inside. One of them can be purple, an engineer type. The other one is often a shotgunner, but can be a grenadier as well. And sometimes instead of an engineer, you have a sniper. Holy shit! Lots and lots of information. The point is, and there's electronics in here in survival, but not in those locations. There, and there, and there. On the roof of this building, which we can access either by climbing here or straight up the rope. There's a box of tools here. It's the only reason to climb rather than take the rope, by the way, is specifically for the tools. The rope's a little faster, otherwise, what's that on there? Can't do anything. Now this is cold, the rooftop's cold, at least in this half of it, but it's also worthwhile. There's 2 gear pieces and a weapon up here, plus weapon parts. 1 gear piece there, 1 gear piece there, a weapon there, weapon parts. Actually, that's a backpack. Those are weapon parts. Over here, there's an ever-burning barrel, so if you are cold, you can warm up real quick, but you have fabric, I think, maybe tools. Yeah, maybe that's tools, and this is fabric, and then backpack, fabric, and then tools. And the barrel is like right here. You can jump down from here. It's tricky. If you've ever watched any of my streams, it's fucking annoying. Sometimes it works on the first try. Sometimes it takes 3 or 4 tries. I promise it's not me. It's just the system's finicky. There's a rope here. There's another one off to my right. I think it's... There it is. There's a pair of LMB elites, first wave agent and a grenadier, who patrol there. They go up and down through there. And they go all the way down to tire fire. I will kill them in almost every run that I have, but I usually don't do it immediately here. So after all of this gear that I've collected, I finally go into a hideout. Even still, not quite yet. So the hideout is right here under that, whatever that sign is. And that's a purple hideout, so you can craft your purple gear in there. And of course, by now I would have enough to craft a lot of purple, and a lot of the stuff I've grabbed would be purple. Plus, I got weapon parts, electronics, and weapon parts. Also meds, if you're into that. And even back here, there's a box of tools behind that A-frame. There are cleaners, just similar to these guys. There's actually, I think, a squad of 2 or 3. And then there's a second one that you can sometimes encounter. I'll usually come down and kill the first set or 2 before I turn back around. If you keep going, they just mostly keep coming all the way to the end of that. There's there's a bunch of cleaners to kill. I only kill a couple, then I hop in the hideout. First grab the fabric right here. And hop into the hideout right here. Actually sort of trying to do it, but turns out you can't here. Apparently there's actually a real safe house here. Oh, there is. Hell, I'll go ahead and open that up so I have a... I don't even know where it is. So I have a fast travel location. I don't think you can go down this. Survival. Even if you could, I wouldn't. I would do all the things that I have shown, but not this. Oh, this is the cavern. I know this one. I think I've unlocked it already. Yeah, okay, so I don't need to do anything else in here. What else can I show? So this is just basically a typical, if you spawn in the southwest, where can you go? What should you do? And what can you expect to have by this point? Well, I'm telling you that you can expect to have, if you got most of the things that I've described, you should have at least 2 purple items, possibly all 6. At least 1 purple weapon, hopefully a useful one. And then a ton of materials. And so I would craft, and then I would come out this door when I was done crafting, and I would have typically all purple, both filters, a turret, a support station, if I can, an X45. And again, the X45 is 100% a flex, 100%. Now, and then after I did that, I would kill those 2 golds and hopefully upgrade a purple piece, you know, get better main stat allocation. Remember, it's survival. You don't get to pick whether you have firearms, stamina, or electronics. So you want options so that you can unlock better talents on your weapons and things like that. Now, I could continue on to the tire fire. The tire fire is this area right here. It's actually right there. And there's
I don't think it's help, baby.
and in the area around the Broadway Emporium there's cleaners that live in that little area. In all of this, really. And there's a happy box. Happy box is one of the larger containers. Usually, sometimes it looks like a taped up weapon parts bag, or a cardboard box sometimes, spray painted. Happy box has 3 items in it, and can contain and does contain ammo. Hopefully the ammo type that you need it to have, but not always. And happy boxes are so called because they make you happy. Some people call them elite boxes or crates or whatever. It's a dumb name. Happy box is a much more interesting name. And so this one has 1 purple. This one has 1 purple, but there's also a trio of
You mean like help?
LMB that patrol up and down Broadway here that have 1 purple. So
Help, baby.
you can make the LMB fight the first group of cleaners, not usually the second group. You have to really go out of your way to get that to happen. But those 2 LMB elites that I mentioned, they can get in the mix as well. So
I don't
this can be
think it's
tricky,
help,
but
baby.
if you have any decent gear by the time you get there, it's a great place to get some ammo. But what I would like to show real quick is this. So if we enter this underground area here, now this is a hideout, so I don't know how much of this I'm actually going to be able to do in the main game. In survival, I can do all of this to this point. This feels longer than normal. You know, this is right. And then right here, there's a cleaner. Just kill one lonesome cleaner. There's a backpack, I think, there, and tools here. I might be wrong about the backpack, but the tools are definitely right there. Okay, so that's the hideout. Yeah, and so then So the hideout's closed. The rest of this is still here. So we're just deep underground. There's nothing to kill here other than that that red bar cleaner, and it'll be 2 in an upcoming room. And then there's a room that's a little more difficult, but not too bad. And you can get out, and that option is available in survival, but why? As you come in here, this room has a box of tools there, and I think there, and then 2 cleaners, 2 red bar cleaners. Kill them, grab the tools. Off you go, nice and warm. This next room, subway station, has basically all of these guys. Actually, probably they're all cleaners, so not all of these guys are raiders. It's got about I want to say about a half dozen total cleaners. 2 purples, 1 over there, and 1 who comes around this corner here. There's also suitcases, backpacks, like two suitcases and 1 backpack somewhere along this area, and I think another suitcase there. A couple of boxes of tools back in here, 1 there, 1 there. And another suitcase or backpack, whatever, over there. So there's tons of clothes and a bunch of enemies to kill, and you might even get a purple drop. It's funny, and in the main games I have to remind myself that's a piece of shit, I don't want that, but in survival, purple is awesome. Come up here, now this is not on your map, right? So I'm just out in the middle of nowhere, but this is the subway tunnel. There's a box of tools here, but as you come up, this tunnel is going to take me, so remember I got in right right here. That's where I came in from the hideout. I came in there. I'm already all the way up here. Along here you'll encounter 2 cleaners, a red bar grenadier and a purple engineer. You can kill them pretty quickly, especially if you shoot the pouch on the grenadier. Real easy. Come here. This, by the way, is part of, I think, the Times Square mission. No, I don't know. I think there's something special about a corner over there. All right, in this this subway station, there's another pair of the cleaner, grenadier, and engineer. Again, easy, but this whole area has a bunch of clothes and fabric and backpacks, electronics. Med bag, clothes, gear piece up there. Gear piece is like right on the other side of the fence, right there. Tools, fabric. This actually is, so it's just a bunch of stuff in here. And you only have to kill those 4 guys. And sometimes you can just skip them. You can come on up here. Now these guys aren't here in survival. You don't have to do this. Now this door is available in survival. You have to open this door in survival. It's funny. You have to open both of these doors in survival. But you'll find in here, you'll find a weapon, weapon parts, and tools. While you're in here, sometimes you'll hear this flame trap that's right about there. You'll hear it go off. It's because there's a purple engineer cleaner that walks up and down this road, or this area, which is why I came up the right side, not the left side. Both sides would come up here, but the right side doesn't have the enemy. And so you can get the stuff first, then kill him, and continue further. And you have to open this door in survival too. But inside of it you'll find a med kit. That's the weapon. Meds. Let's see. Is that tools, electronics, gear piece. You can go further up where there's electronics right there. You can go further down where there's electronics down there, and then tools over there. We're going to go up because I want to show how far this goes. By the way, because they're purples, there's 3 purples that we've already killed, right? Those can drop purples. The 1, 2 gear pieces, both purple, potentially 2 weapons, both potentially purple. Get in here. Now, I don't even know what's in here in survival, honestly, because I never bother. I know that there's a backpack, like, right there, but there's also a bomb right there, and there's probably a gear piece or something in one of these cars that I'm never getting. So that's worth looking at. But you come out here, and you're at Sierra Aid Station. There's a purple cleaner that lives right in here. I usually see him right about there. You have to kill him. There's a bomb right there, but you can just go on this side of it and it won't even see you. Here we will come out on the surface at the Sierra Aid Station, which has backpack, or sorry, a suitcase, second suitcase, meds. This has electronics and food. There's fabric over there. Just tons of stuff. There's a med kit in the back of that. There's a med kit at the top of the stairs. You came out. There's a purple and a couple of red bars that live here. There's 2 red bar LMB and then like 2 or 3 red bar riders and 1 purple rider. Shouldn't be an issue, but could be. And if it is, just run back downstairs, warm up, whatever. There's 2 med kits right here, so shit, should be good. And there's a hideout pretty close to here. I just don't remember where, because I hardly ever do this one. And when I do, I've got other things I need to do, and I don't care about the hideout. But look how far we've come. And that was entirely underground, all the way up to Times Square. And you'll be warm. And this is a fun little. So it is, and because there's multiple stops that you can get in and out. That big room that we just left a minute ago, the subway station, not the one just underneath here, but the one a little bit further down. You can get out down there, and there's plenty of loot to head. Just keep heading east, and you'll find loot because you're in the vicinity of the DZ wall. But this is where you would dovetail into various piers spawns in survival. So pier spawns would from in here would end up at this area. Northwest spawn, which is ideal for me. So remember, we're not in the piers, so the northwest spawn is something like in here. You stay up north and just come east and then down. And so I might end up in the vicinity of this, but I wouldn't actually hit this except for when I'm playing with friends, because this gets me away from them by going underground. So, what have we accomplished? I hope that I have shown anyone who cares to watch that we can hop down into the main game. We go to the main game, drop down into World Tier 1 with all your awesome loot. Coming up on a Times Square landmark for survival right here that's off to the left. This truck has gear in it. This would be the landmark in survival. Tons of loot that you can get that's going to be potentially purple. If you watch those shitty videos other people show you, you're just not going to get the purple gear. So why not look at places where you can? And how easy is it? And it is easy. The things that I've shown you, you don't have to kill very much unless you really want to. By dropping down to World Tier 1, you can walk around in the daylight. Well, sometimes it's daylight. Obviously, we have a day-night cycle here. But not when you're freezing. Wearing your awesome gear, not your shit that you get from survival. Drop to World Tier 1 so nothing can hurt you, and you can walk the route. You can see where things are. I mean, I did Russian consulate. So I can fast travel over there and show how, you can go out. This is where Russian consulate ends. There's a construction area there. That's just near to a spawn area. The spawn areas are really south of that. We could walk that route too. I don't think I'll do that this time. I've spent enough time here. I just want people to understand that the routes that you're seeing in some of these shitty guides are really, really bad. You should instead go walk a route. Look up the interactive map that I'm talking about. Google it. Just Division interactive map would probably get you there. It shows all the locations of all the weapons and tools and everything that you can find in survival. It's really accurate. I'm not saying it's perfect. I think I've found a few discrepancies, but it's close. And certainly it's close enough. And if you find those locations and then just drop into World Tier 1 like this, pull up on your laptop, on your tablet, your phone if you have to, and look at those locations and then go to them in the main game and then walk the route. Learn how to get from point A to point B, from point B to point C, to D to E, all the way through. Until you can do it like I'm able to do it. Just recognizing I know exactly where I'm at. There's a bomb to shoot right there. That lets me in. Oh, you can't even go down here. That's fun. That's because this is the mission. This is the Times Square mission. But right there's a bomb to shoot right down there. It's a flame bomb. This is an exploding one. If you shoot it first, you shoot it and then you climb up. And so because when you shoot it, it actually sets off a fire extinguisher. And so you can grab the weapon up here. You could use the ladder, but it's actually far faster to hop down. There's a med kit there, weapon parts there, and a gear piece there. Of course, all of this could be purple. This is just stuff you learn as you play, and then you pick up, especially if you get there fast enough to loot it before anybody else does. Obviously, if you get there and it's already looted, you won't really know. On that note, make sure you're drinking water and soda. Water works a little better than soda. I don't remember the difference exactly, but it works a little better. Same with food. Canned food works a little bit better than energy bars. I do know the difference there. They both have the same cooldown, but canned food works a lot longer before it stops working, even though it's on cooldown. I don't know the logic behind that, but that's the way it works. So probably it's similar for water versus soda. Water seems to work better, at least longer. And both of them allow you to see that's weird. Both of them allow you to see a little further away. You can detect lootable containers. And that's of course really important in survival. So when you come across things that you didn't know about, assume that there's more things there that you didn't know about. Drink water. When you come across things that you did know about that are missing, and you know that there are other things in that area that you also know about, but you don't know if they're missing yet, then drink water, and then when you get close enough to have detected them, you'll be like, oh shit, somebody got that too. And you can turn away sooner than you would otherwise have done. So that's really important stuff, just to gain an edge wherever you can. Another thing I always do in survival is, before I craft up to purple or gold, if I were to do that, I would put on a green piece, because the green piece, when you break it down, breaks down into green items, but the purple and blue pieces break down into blue crafting materials. So the green ones break down into green crafting materials, the purple and blue break down into blue crafting materials, one or two, depending on if it's blue or purple. And so I'll put on the green stuff so that I can break down the ones I don't want to use and get the blue materials rather than the green materials. Because it takes 3 green materials to make 1 blue material. Since I'm going to replace that item anyway, I'll put on the green, then craft the purple, and then have the better part already. I don't know. I assume that makes sense. It's just I've seen too many people that just put on their best and then deconstruct stuff that they intended. It's just weird. So I hope this is helpful. I hope it's not too super boring. I'm sure I should put on some flashing music and some graphics. But if you care to get better, that's why I'm here. Cheers.